Hello. Game development is really hard, and as a solo game developer or an indie developer, you will have to wear many hats or have some money set aside to hire out some help to relieve that burden. But that's not what this video is about. Instead, I want to focus on something that I believe that holds many more people back from pursuing their dreams in game development or making a game studio. A thing that, if we're not careful, it honestly just lurks in the shadows, waiting to strike before the game shuts down and the studio is never to be seen again by public eye. I myself have fallen victim to this beast, and of course, the beast I'm talking about is myself. Hello, my name is Maria, and today I wanted to take you on a personal journey of why I failed at GameDev and how I'm trying to fix that. I've been told many times, and I believe that many of us have heard the phrase that we are our own worst enemy. And over the past few years, there's been many different things that have led to my downfall. The first being the fact that I had some really unrealistic expectations. You see, I don't really come from a design background. I don't have any art experience, and I don't even have any software experience. The only thing I have experience in, and that's only a little bit, is storytelling. And it's really hard to show any kind of storytelling elements through social media, as you really want the players to experience that in the game world itself. Therefore, I was trying to compete with people who've done this for a lot longer than I have, either as a job, in some other capacity, or have just been an indie dev longer than I. And so when I couldn't compete in the big leagues, I started to really feel down about what I could possibly do. And even though I was trying to take classes, to study, to keep pushing myself to reach those limits that never came. And this combined with the fact that I was trying to tie my self-worth to what I was doing, made it even worse. Every time I made a social media post and it only got like a few likes, I would fall to despair thinking that I had failed. Not the project, but I, as the individual, had failed, and that I would never be good enough to keep going. And it's funny because I realize now that that's why I started Annie's Cross to begin with. I wanted to make a game that expressed these concerns, these issues, and to really showcase how easy it is for us to fall into a trap of, oh, it has to be perfect, even though it's the first game we may have ever made. And even if it's not the first game you've made, maybe it's the first public game, or maybe it's still early in your career and you just don't have the experience and the time that many other people do. And at the end of the day, that is okay. It is okay to be someone new in the field who's just trying to make their way. So because of all those feelings and because of my frame of mind, I just sat there one day staring at my screen, and I didn't know it then, but the beast had won that day, and I stopped posting on social media. It was easy because I had gone on vacation to go to a conference for game development, and by the time I got back, I just decided, well, I've already been gone for a week. Why not just stay gone until I can be perfect, until the time is right, and I can really wow people with the projects that I'm creating. But there was a problem there as well. You see, I cared too much what other people might think. First, the fact that I had already been gone for a week, which then became a month, which then became a whole entire year, basically kept me from posting because I was like, man, they're going to think that I'm some weirdo or that I've got some kind of problem because I went away for such a long period of time and now I'm coming back. It was really easy to just convince myself, no, you don't have to. You can just keep going with what you're doing. And what I was doing was just working in the background. So even though like it seemed to the public eye and to my social media, Iceberg Studios was gone and it would never, ever be seen again. And part of that also came from another bad habit that I realized that I have. And that bad habit is trying to reach perfection by studying. Oh, I've got to study YouTube videos. I've got to figure out what makes a good YouTube video. I've got to figure out what makes a good thumbnail, and the list goes on and on and on. Just for a YouTube video, let's not even think about the game. And so, again, it was just easier to convince myself, well, just read another book. Just watch another video. You'll figure it out. You will. Just keep going. But that also was the wrong move to make. So how did I get out of it? Or how does it seem that I got out of it? As I don't want to be foolish enough to say that I am free from the burdens of my past, but I am better knowing now that there is an alternative that exists, and more importantly, what can you do if any of the previous points resonated with you on some kind of level? Well, the solution was quite simple, and that honestly was to talk to someone about it. And that meant even if I had to pay to be able to speak to someone who has done content creation or could help me out with some of my frames of mind, in my eyes, it was worth it to try and get back on the path. It also helped because I decided to seek out therapy and really try to deal with those lingering issues that basically kept me from doing the things that I wanted to do. When it comes to changing my frame of mind, there was a lot of things that I realized I didn't know about the world, and specifically I didn't know about game dev. Like, it's okay to have high standards, just as long as those high standards don't keep you from posting videos, from working on games, from trying to improve yourself to be a better person. Some other things, and they should seem quite obvious, but they weren't to me, the fact that no one's really going to know you when you're first starting out. No one's going to have any idea that you even exist, and so unless you keep pushing through, you may never find your audience, which means, honestly, you just won't get seen. Thus, it's kind of a test of patience, and for those who don't have patience, which back then I did not have any patience, you'll fall flat. Finally, when tying my own self-worth to these things, I realized that my projects, whether good or bad, have no bearing on who I am as an individual. Thus, I shouldn't hold myself to some kind of standard that honestly only exists in my own mind. Therefore, to fix that, I really had to iron out the why. I had to sit down and really ask myself, why do I want to be an indie game developer? And why do I want to release games just in general? And that was honestly a very scary time, very scary thought process, because part of me was afraid, what if I don't like the answer? Or what if the answer is something that is corrupt, or is something that I just ideally don't want to be a part of? Well, thankfully, the idea was pretty straightforward. My why I wanted to do this was because I wanted to share stories and help people who had gone through similar situations to what I've gone through in the past. Therefore, knowing what my why is now, the results don't really matter as long as I keep trying to strive for that why. Yeah, Annie's Cross doesn't look like some amazing pixel art game that people, could play and have a lot of fun and all that stuff, but it tells a really emotional, impactful story, or at least I hope so. And even if it doesn't, even if at the end of the day, people play it and then they say, wow, this is bad, this is garbage, I can sit back and say, okay, maybe it is. Where did I go wrong? And where can I go next? See, I've come to learn that failure is honestly okay, and a lot of people keep saying, oh, if you fail, just get right back up. But then your mind goes, well, that's easy for you to say because you're successful. You've made it. You've done the things that I am trying to do. But I can guarantee you, if you're saying that, like I did, there's a good chance that you don't know the full story, that you don't know the big picture of where that person came from. This really hit me hard when I was watching a video. Did I want to be a wantrepreneur or did I want to be an entrepreneur? And oh my gosh, did that really hit hard. I realized that everything I was doing was I wanted to be a game developer, but I wasn't actually considering myself a game developer, and I wasn't doing the things that needed to be done so I could be a game developer. And so I guess my key takeaways from this video are really try to iron out your why it is that you do the things that you do, not just in game development, but in life in general. And then from there, realize that each time you fail is another step towards success. And really start to try to think about the whole picture, not just from your perspective, but from the other person's perspective as well. And you'll see that a lot of people have had some really hard times to get where they're going. It's honestly, it sucks, but it's a part of the journey. And when you make it to the other side, when you can finally stand on that mountain, you'll know that there's always another mountain to keep striving for. If you made it to the end of this video, I'm grateful to you, and I hope that some part of it resonated with you and that you at least got some value from it. If you did, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing for more content in the future. I really hope to be getting back to these devlogs soon. Until next week, stay awesome, keep creating, and remember to spark the imagination. My name again is Maria with Iceberg Studios, signing off for now.